I think YouTube channels that are widely characterized as commentary channels play an important cultural role. They're really good at taking established audiences and suggesting cultural borders around controversial topics, stating that if you like me and are like me, people like us do believe and despise things like this or that. I don't personally watch a whole lot of commentary videos because I think that in the same way that right-wing grifter is a profitable media type, left-wing griper has me tired of hearing black-pilled, or at least dark gray-pilled mopes and gripes about the awful state of movies or TikTok or whatever's hot that month. My own personal tastes aside, I do concede that commentary YouTubers are important organisms in the internet ecosystem. Their skills are valuable because so much of culture revolves around fighting about what stuff is for winners and what's for losers. Red pill manosphere guy. Winners to a certain type of viewer who idolizes someone with that much confidence, and losers to a type of viewer who understands that flexing material wealth is often more embarrassing than inspiring. I don't think I have the skills of a commentary YouTuber because if I did, this would be a really successful half-hour-long commentary video about why social media sucks and is bad for you. But instead, I really just want to start by itemizing each thing that I hate about using Instagram. It shouldn't take long because you probably already share many of my problems with it. There are a lot of ads. There is a lot of suggested content that, even if not actually an advertisement, feels like one. They push Reels so hard, it's annoying. The square photo grid just changed to be Reels shaped. It's owned by Meta, one of the biggest net negative companies of our time. It's the type of social media that tends to make its users feel bad and waste the day away. The DM system is insanely bad. I have like 5 inboxes and none of them work properly. There's primary and general, which functionally have no difference. There's requests, where I leave everything now because once I approve a request, there's literally no way to send somebody back into the request zone. Anytime I approve a DM request, I'm inviting one more person into my phone to serve a big red alert. And if they start to get annoying, like, hey chief, what should I cook tonight? I have no recourse beside blocking them. Then there is hidden requests, which can only be accessed by scrolling down to the bottom of requests and then tapping a button really fast before more requests load in. I tap this button like once a month max, and the system that determines what's banished into the hidden requests inbox is not very smart. I've lost really, really important time-sensitive information from friends and brands and verified accounts hoping to do something together. Every couple of weeks, a new annoying feature is added that's either stolen from a different app, doomed to fail, or garbage bloatware. Who actually wanted an AI Kylie Jenner chatbot or AI generated stickers? Opening the app sucks. It's always going to serve you a reel at the top of the feed. It's going to loudly blast annoying audio that's hard to mute because even if your phone hardware is switched to mute, the audio will play. If the sound didn't annoy you at first, get ready to hear it 10 times as you tap around to view stories or something else, and you continuously hear the first 2 seconds of whatever that first reel in your feed is. This is annoying whether I'm the one using the app on my own phone or someone else within earshot is. It's kind of heartbreaking to hear a grown man in public listening to viral TikTok sounds. Personally, it's also a little offensive when someone is in my house and we're all hanging out and then suddenly I hear a reel start to blast audio before it's quickly muted. Like, damn, okay, I'm sorry that the lull in this conversation has bored you to that degree. It's annoying that even if all I do is look at photos, those photos have backing tracks on them to bring them closer to Reels territory. The Explore tab is embarrassing. That's often played for comedy, like LOL, so random. My feed is so crazy. All I get is quadriplegics trying slip and slides for the first time. But how does it truly make you feel in your heart of hearts to go, oh boy, time to have some fun online, and then you see AI Jesus playing with a human-headed dog or inescapable goon bait and stuff that's purposely infuriating to draw impassioned ire from those compelled to comment? I think Meta products suck hard. It's not difficult for me not to use Facebook. I do still use Instagram on a daily basis, but a couple changes make it easy for me not to get addicted to it. Here is the first couple steps that I take. Number one, obviously, is to turn off all push notifications. There's literally no reason to let Instagram interrupt your day to let you know that someone from college sent you a video that you don't even want to watch. I feel like having notifications on for Instagram is deranged behavior. Next, anytime I see a suggested post, I tap the button that lets me turn off that feature for a month. I have to do this every 30 days, but it beats the alternative. Also, when I open the app, I try to tap the Instagram logo so I can set my feed to chronological mode. That gets rid of virtually all the ads and suggestions, and it makes it way easier to grow weary of being on the app. If you open the app back up 3 minutes later, a chronological timeline makes you go, oh yeah, of course there's nothing new to look at. I saw all this already 3 minutes ago. I removed the slot machine-esque habit of opening a Skinner box hoping to see something new and novel every time. Also, I don't follow people that I only met a few times or family members that I don't otherwise talk to. This is an app where I can open it and see cool art or inspiring food. My feed is curated to serve me things I deem worthy of value, not obligations. A quick moment of acknowledgement. I don't expect most people to interface with social media in this way. When I talk about using social media in a productive, non-addicting way, it can read as cold, uncaring, unrealistic, and snobbish. Like the people who oversimplify weight loss as, have you tried eating fewer calories? Or personal finance as, quit shopping, it's that easy. I also don't want to present myself as someone who doesn't have bad habits. I just want to bring some attention to a certain self-delusion to which we open ourselves up when we find ourselves thinking, oh man, I'm so addicted to my phone. Maybe I should buy a dumb phone and that'll solve it. To which I say, have you ever tried putting your iPhone in assistive access mode for a day? If you hate that, you're never going to stick to a dumb phone. Save the $600. I think the phone is a scapegoat for the real problem, I would say, before asking, have you earnestly reflected on whether or not you even like these apps that you use for 4 hours a day? It's the same question that I have for video games with daily quests that become more of a chore than a game. The sunk cost gets to a point where you're not even having fun anymore. And I'm realizing that a common theme in my monologues on this channel is just like, can we talk about what the point of all this is? I tried advantaged sports betting because I wanted to make money. The point, however, for most gamblers is not to make money. I complained about the contents of so-called video essays. Most VE consumers don't see the qualities that I describe them lacking as the point. I am currently the oldest I have ever been, and every day I become more of a geezer who can't relate with folks over the point of something. Why would anyone want to listen to viral songs if they're already by their nature inescapable? This is almost certainly not a true post and more of a joke, but consider this guy's self-imposed punishment of having to listen to Doechie's Anxiety after smoking a cigarette as a strategy for smoking cessation. That already exists as a built-in TikTok limiter for me. You can't be on the app for 10 minutes without hearing Le Song du Jour 100 times. At the time of recording, that's Darling Hold My Hand. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. However, the lasting popularity of playlists like this one proves that I'm not enlightened or correct. I'm just out of touch to my own benefit and delight. Anyway, the point of this monologue is right at this part. For better or for worse, I feel like the most reliable way to ditch a habit like social media or excessive shopping or junk food is to honestly, earnestly allow it to repulse you. The keys here are honestly and earnestly, not the addictive behavior of closeted politicians or NoFap subreddit subscribers who feign disgust in a subconscious plot to make all their ultimate indiscretions all the more titillating. The bad habits that I successfully avoid are the ones that I don't have any interest in. If you're a non-smoker, you probably know what I mean. Get addicted to cigarettes? Die for a thing that tastes bad and hurts to inhale? No, thank you. I just happen to hold that perspective for a lot of facets of contemporary living. New consumer tech is not interesting to me. The improvements in iPhones are so incremental, the returns so diminished that it's unreasonable to expect the new model hype that we used to get in the early years of the iPhone. Amazon is incredibly bad now. There are millions of low-effort slop products with typos on the packaging. The spammy, overwrought product listings have names and descriptions that would read as satire to early internet users. And worst of all, the prices are high despite all this because their customer base is so captive they never price compare. Etsy fell to a cultural rock bottom because it's loaded with cheap drop shipper fodder, but Amazon gets a pass because millions of buyers love being the type to be like, oh yeah, all this stuff, you can just get it on Amazon. This works on Amazon addicts who don't know any better, but not on me. It's not because I saw a commentary video or a documentary expose about Amazon and it motivated me to change my habits. It's because their value proposition is not attractive to me. I can process what they have to offer and easily decline it. I get that it's fun to watch a Disney media product and then watch a commentary video or a video essay that's 3 times as long, all about how bad that media product was. But I've already internalized the belief that contemporary movies and shows on streaming services aren't typically very good long ago, so I don't pay attention to them. That's not always a good feeling, by the way. It is alienating when you can't relate to family and friends who comfortably converse about Ted Lasso or Star Wars. But I personally insist that a life well lived is one that's at least examined, and when I examine my own priorities, I can't bring myself to get excited about cinematic universes or deeply discounted home furnishings or hot new DTC brands. There will always be a reason to justify sticking around. People say, I need to keep Facebook because I need to maintain access to Marketplace. 10 years ago, they would say, I need to keep Facebook because it's the only way to organize parties and events. Whether it's chicken strips or Snapchat, you have to come to the honest conclusion that cutting back will be a net positive. This is why I started with a nod to commentary YouTubers. They help everyday viewers develop a deep misery or disgust surrounding things like car-dependent cities or free, fast e-commerce returns. Deciding that something stinks and believing it is a great way to leave it alone. Again, I have to take a brief moment of acknowledgement. There is a dark side to this approach. Letting habits deeply turn you off can be good for the mind and bad for the heart. I think the reason why you have so many mean people in the fitness world is that they let certain foods and the act of overeating or underexerting disgust them. So when they see heavier set people, they have a negative visceral reaction. I don't want to justify that behavior, but try to understand why Dave Ramsey is such a shithead to poor people who spend too much. He developed a deep aversion to that lifestyle. Dave's type of media is helpful for those who can parlay casual media consumption into solid money habits, but bad for media at large when the format naturally magnifies towards its logical conclusion, like net negative mega ass Caleb Hammer. In the same way that a Ramsey head might never get into credit card debt, the reason why I don't find myself addicted to certain apps is they make me feel like I'm using an app designed to trick idiots. And that makes it easy for me to close the app and then do something else. Like when compared to YouTube, the user base on TikTok is far less educated, less literate, worse at critical thinking. It's easy for me to close the app 5 minutes into a swipe sesh when all I see is the embarrassing, brain-dead junk that's on there. Quitting Twitter is not hard when the content is porn or bots or porn bots. I work in social media. I have a profit incentive to use the platform, and it's still a no-brainer for me to stay off of it. It squicks me out to imagine generating Twitter content for free by choice. I guarantee there are healthier ways to ditch a habit, but fostering a deep aversion to something sure works wonders for me. Here is one actionable step that you can take to make that switch a little easier. Navigate to the Explore tab and find the least relevant, least shareable post with which you would never interact. The first time I did this, I picked an infographic for sufferers of PCOS. Open it, tap the share icon, and then back out. Refresh the Explore tab, and do that again with the 2 or 3 similar posts that are now sure to show up. Rinse and repeat 5 times, and your whole feed looks like you care deeply about this topic that's totally irrelevant to you. From here on out, you'll get a big, annoying reminder whenever you see unattractive, suggested content that this stuff ain't for you, and you'll hopefully tap out. This will only work long-term if you actually want to quit scrolling algorithmically served media. Once you go back to the habit of, oh, this is so funny or relatable, I ought to send it to somebody that I know, the effects wear off very quickly. You know, I only have one watch. It winds itself when I wear it, so if I leave it on the bedside all weekend, it stops ticking and I have to reset it. I like this watch. Sometimes I think about getting another one, maybe even starting a collection. But then I would either need to buy a device for each watch to rotate them for days at a time so that they stay wound, or keep them at my desk and then rock them back and forth while working. It's at this moment that the watches have potential to wear me. The downside outweighs the upside, not because it's hard to keep a watch wound, but because I just don't have that much interest in timepieces at this point in my life. In my 20s, binge drinking was a fabulous way to make friends, meet girls, and be social. In my 30s, the hangovers are more severe and the benefits are less beneficial. Alcohol now stands to get more out of me than I get out of it. Social media is fun because every time you move your thumb, you get to see something exciting or funny or beautiful or fascinating. That will continue to be true. If you take a couple steps to minimize the design choices of Meta employees and maximize the choices you make yourself, a chronological feed, no suggested posts, and an Explore tab full of repulsive junk, you might get more out of the apps than they get out of you.